Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Isle of Man in the UK. This is Jon and Mikes MMA Corner.
Okay, we have Frank joining us right now. Now, Frank, you're fighting on the Shamrock FC Shamrock FC card coming up, and for you, this bout it's quite an interesting bout fighting on Shamrock FC anyway to begin with. You're taking on Mike Williams, and I suppose your Christmas pudding was a bit smaller than mine this year.
I guess so, man.
Now, obviously, you've been training over Christmas. You're training probably right now. Is it a bit different? Has this been something different for you? Obviously, because I suppose when it comes to Christmas time, the festive seasons, everyone's a bit more relaxed. How have you kind of found yourself, getting prepped for this fight, training around Christmas time?
Yeah, obviously a lot of people have been taking time off away from the gym, and the gym's been closed. And since I just had a fight in November, I actually just decided to take a little bit of time off over the holiday season as well, just to let my body heal up a little bit. I had a 6-week fight camp for my last fight, November 21st, and it was a pretty hard camp, and I got the win on that. And then since then, I've been training hard. I was back. That was on a Saturday. I went right back into the gym Monday and been hitting it hard ever since. So over the holidays, I've just been taking it easy, just like everybody else. And today's our first day back in the gym since last Tuesday. So,
right. Well, that's the thing. I was interested to see how were you working around it. Obviously, because of holidays, people being off. I wondered how much it might have affected your fight camping. It could sometimes affect a fighter's mindset, because if he feels that he's not getting the training he requires, it could start to play in his mind. But if you felt that having the break as well helped your body heal, it's probably it was probably a smart decision you made.
Right. Yeah, at this level, I'm not really too concerned with the fight camp. I mean, we're trying to structure them and set them up, and we tweak them here and there. But at the amateur level, I mean, if you miss a couple of days, I mean, how long's the other guy been training? There's a lot of variables.
Well, the good thing about the amateur level is you can learn a lot from the training camps as well. So, for example, let's say next year you say, I want to turn pro, and the same thing happens next year. You get a fight at the start of January, and you've got to train over Christmas. You can start to you've already been there. You've already done this. And you can start to then it's almost like you've got a blueprint on how to improve it for next year. You go, okay, well, what didn't work this time? What works? And it's quite useful. It's almost like when you do the amateur ranks, you can make as many mistakes as you want to, in a sense, not on purpose, but obviously you can make a lot of errors, and then you can scrub them out when you get to the pro ranks, because you've already made them, and you've already drilled it out of yourself.
Right. I also have the luxury of having Rob Timmons be my coach, and he's a 7-time UFC veteran, so he's already made a lot of the mistakes for me. So pretty much all I have to do is do what my coach says, and everything so far has been pretty easy. All weight cuts, and I've been training for 5 years, so I got a good set of tools to go in there with. Mostly it's just sharpening them up and getting in better shape. That's always been one of my downfalls, is I just like going to the gym and punching people and choking people. I'm not really into lifting weights or anything like that. So that's really what a lot of it's been focused on, is just getting in better shape, getting the weight off me. I usually walk around at 205 pounds, and I'm not a real muscular guy. And now I'm down to 176, so I've been keeping it off.
That's good. That's a good way of keeping it off, man. That's a good difference. I'm the same. I walk around the same as you, 205ish, and I remember when I had about at 170, and I found it an absolute nightmare just to get my weight down to 190. It was a pain in the ass. It's and then I had 2 weeks to cut down 20 pounds, and that was so much fun. Oh, my body loved that. Oh yeah. I do not miss that. I ate too many mince pies over Christmas on purpose. I was not missing out.
Yeah, I was actually surprised over the holiday season right here. I said, I'm not even going to get on the scale. I'll just worry about it Monday morning when I get in the gym, see how much damage I did. And I got in there to 176. I said, well, I guess that apple pie diet that I did wasn't too bad.
An apple is one of your 5 a day. Remember that. That's what you got to remember. That's what you got to think. Hey, see. But if you get, I'll tell you a trick. If you have a rhubarb and apple pie, that's 2 of your 5 a day.
Oh, okay.
See, I'm helping here. I'm like a professional nutritionalist. You know what I mean? I could do this all day.
All right. It's like another Mike Dolce.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I would literally get you up to 230. No problem. But with the amateur, the fighting that you've got, it's what I love about MMA with amateurs now is the standard is actually going up. Like you said there, I've been training for 5 years. You know, you've had 5 years of training. You've got a level now. You've got a pretty good level that back say like let's go like 10 years. Let's go 10 years ago. Guys were coming in professional, not even probably only a couple of years fighting in them. You know, of training. Do you have it in your head? Do you have in your head professional level? Do you have an idea of okay, I want to do X amount of fights, or I want to do amateur for X amount of years? Is that something that's in your mind, or are you just seeing how it goes on amateur before you decide?
Yeah, well, the first step right now is to go out there and grab a couple of belts and defend them and see what the level of competition is. And seeing, I might travel a little bit, do some amateur shows, just depending on and see what the level is out there. And then the plan is to go pro. So this year is going to be testing the waters in the 170-pound division at amateur level, as far as my vehicle can drive me, and then from there we're going to make our decision on when we should go pro.
Well, that's the thing. You can't. Yeah, that's a very wise thing you're saying there straight away. Is going out as far as you can, because if you just stay in the one area and fight whatever's around, you could be that big fish in that little pond. But then all of a sudden you go, east or west, and you find out that there's a bigger bloody pond with bigger fish, and your mind, it can surprise you. It can shock you big time. And it's a very wise decision that you're making already.
Right. Thanks, buddy.
So, with the training that you're doing, obviously, because you've got Rob that, and he's got, a lot of experience under his belt, and he's got the wisdom as well. Like you say, he's made a lot of mistakes, and he can nurture you in that way. So, when you listen to him, does he then really try to just let you be yourself as a fighter and just your own style? He's not trying to implement his style, is he? I imagine. Is that the kind of coach he is?
Yeah, I don't know, because my fighting style is so similar to him. That's one of the reasons he said he wanted me to fight.
Right.
Because he already made all of his mistakes in his career, and he knows exactly where he wants to take me. He sees the potential in me, and he knows right where he wants to take me. But, I mean, he's a black belt in American Jiu-Jitsu, and he's a hard-nosed stand-up fighter. I mean, he likes to get in there and bang with guys. He had an iron chin, so he was really versatile fighter and really durable, and had a lot of spectacular finishes. So, obviously that's something I would like to do too. So,
the advantage that we have these days as well is it's the internet. You could be fighting in the amateurs, you can get an absolutely spectacular finish, and then all of a sudden, pow, it goes viral. That's the beautiful thing about the internet. It can go everywhere. People can see it. People can hear about it. People can, they'll find out about it. And that's what's so, the advantages of fighters these days is that you can get that exposure already.
Right. Yeah. To create a overnight sensation.
Yeah, and so when you get to the pro ranks, then you've already kind of got like a cult following behind you, which is kind of, it's quite a nice thing to have potentially when you go into the pro ranks, and I think you're making a good step. I think going on at Shamrock FC as well, you're going on reliable promotions, so you're going to get yourself a good matchup as well, and they run the show really well there. So you're in good hands as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Shamrock FC out here, it's a really professional promotion, and I like the way they've been handling everything thus far. There's a lot of guys from our fight team that have fought for them, and they expose us to all these interviews and everything like that. That way, they have a process of grooming people. Obviously, they groom up to the professional ranks, and then you can go and get their belt and defend it one time. Then they're grooming people for Bellator as well. So it's an excellent organization. And,
it's a great stuff. Yeah, it's a great way to get your foundation levels in MMA and progression. Yeah, it's beautiful to see, really. And you're taking on Mike Williams. In July, July, it's going to be a great way to kick off the year for yourself. Getting the fights, getting started, and kind of getting that momentum underway. Really, and we never say good luck to any guys who are competing, because it's not about luck. It's about the hard work you've just put in the gym. The way you've been Rob's been breaking you, and we want to say have a great fight is what we always say here. Have a great time, have a great weekend. Love every minute. Love getting punched in the face. Love punching him in the face. Embrace the pain and embrace the moment. Just have a great time.
Absolutely, brother. That's what I like to do.
And before we let you go, have you got any social media stuff that people can jump onto to follow? Have you got Facebook, Twitters, and all that stuff, so people can start to join you now before you become the UFC champion?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I just have a Facebook that I use. It's Frank Manion, and you can get on there and see all the shenanigans people talk about me.
Well, what we'll do as well is then we'll post a picture up of Frank on the Facebook page. We'll put we'll mention about his Facebook page as well. And have you got any? Do you want to give? You mentioned Rob. Do you want to give shout out to your gym, your people that you're training with, people that have helped you get ready for the fight and stuff?
Yeah, I'll just keep it short. Train out of Perseverance MMA. We called up to help get ready for the fight. I couldn't ask for a better set of training partners.
And what about, have you got any sponsors at the moment, or being amateur? I imagine, I don't know if you have any. Some people do, some people do get them sponsors at the amateur ranks.
Yeah, some guys have them. I've been really focusing on these 2 fight camps, so I haven't picked any up yet, but that's something that I need to start working on, because doing this isn't free. It takes a lot of gas money, dues, eating right, supplements, and that's something I need to work on.
I'll give you a little clue. Reebok are a bit tied up for sponsorship at the moment now, so you might want to avoid that. Alright, that's just between you and me, okay? Little top tip there. But look, Frank, have a great time. Thank you very much for speaking to me. Thank you for your time, and look forward to seeing how 2016 turns out for you.
All right, man. Have a great day.